In the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council, hundreds of alien species gathered under a shining dome of light. Their ships floated outside in silence, but inside the hall, laughter filled the air. At the center stood the human ambassador, a small figure compared to the towering alien leaders. His voice was calm, his words peaceful, but no one cared to listen. The Zorath commander leaned forward and laughed. Humans still think they are equals? Your planet is small, your weapons are weak, your people emotional. The other races joined the laughter. The sound echoed across the hall like thunder. They called Earth the blue joke of the galaxy. They told stories of human defeats in small border fights, of their colonies lost and their ships destroyed. Each tale brought more laughter. But the human ambassador did not move. He stood still, eyes cold, voice steady. "We may be small," he said quietly, "but we remember." His words made the hall fall silent for a brief second. Then the laughter returned, louder than before. The council dismissed him. The lights dimmed. The meeting ended. But far away in the dark space beyond Mars, something ancient began to move. In hidden shipyards deep under rock and ice, massive engines started to wake from their long sleep. A coded message traveled through deep space, an old signal, known only to the lost human colonies. The ambassador walked out of the hall without looking back. Behind his calm eyes, he carried a secret that the aliens would soon regret. Humanity had been silent for a reason, because silence was only the first phase of the plan. After the council meeting, the galaxy soon forgot about humanity. Months turned into years. No human ships were seen. No messages came from Earth. The trade routes grew quiet. Many believed humans had given up. Some said Earth had fallen. Others said humans were too weak to fight anymore. But strange things began to happen. Deep in the uncharted zones near Neptune, scanners picked up energy spikes, strong, rhythmic, and unfamiliar. A few alien scouts were sent to investigate. None returned. Their last transmissions showed flashes of light and static before vanishing into darkness. In the council, the alien leaders dismissed the reports. "Probably pirates," they said. "Humans don't have the power for such things." The laughter returned, softer this time, but still full of pride. Meanwhile, far away on Earth's hidden colonies, millions of humans worked in silence. Massive shipyards floated behind the shadows of moons. Giant metal bodies took shape, ships larger than any ever seen before. Each engine hummed like a heartbeat. Each hull carried one symbol, a blue planet surrounded by 12 stars, the mark of the Terran fleet. No one outside humanity knew these places existed. They had been building for decades, waiting, preparing, planning. On a lonely asteroid station, a human engineer whispered to his friend, "They think we're gone." "That's the plan. Let them think that." Somewhere in deep space, an old beacon started flashing again, a signal sent only once in history, during the last human war. The message was simple: Phase 2, awake the fleet. The silence of humanity was finally beginning to break. But the galaxy still didn't know what was coming. Captain Thrix of the Varn Dominion was not like the others. He never trusted silence, and the silence around Earth felt wrong. While others laughed at humanity, he watched the dark zones near Jupiter with fear. His scanners often showed strange readings, huge moving objects, shadows without signals. One day, while patrolling the outer ring of Saturn, his crew picked up a distress beacon. It was weak, almost broken, coming from an old exploration probe. Thrix ordered the ship to move closer. As they reached the signal, everyone on board went silent. The probe was half melted, its metal surface torn apart by something powerful. Thrix activated the last recorded transmission. The hollow screen flickered, and then for a single second something massive appeared on screen. It wasn't a rock or a ship. It was an entire wall of steel, moving like a living storm. Lights flickered across its surface. On its side was a faded blue symbol, a small planet surrounded by 12 stars. Thrix froze. "That's Earth's mark," he whispered. He rushed back to the Galactic Council to report what he saw. "They're building something," he said. "Something big." But the Council only laughed again. "The humans can't build ships of that size," one alien mocked. "You've seen a trick of light." Thrix slammed his fist on the table. "You're fools. You mocked them once. Mock them again and you'll regret it." But his words fell into silence. The council dismissed him. They refused to believe. That night, Thrix looked out into the stars. In the distance, he saw faint lights moving behind the asteroid belt, like a sleeping army waking up in slow motion. He whispered, "They're coming." Months passed after Captain Thrix's warning. The Galactic Council moved on with their meetings, still laughing, still proud. Then one morning, every sensor in the Sol system flashed red. A large alien fleet, over 100 warships, entered human space without warning. They came from the Rin Empire, greedy for Earth's moons and minerals. "We'll take what they no longer need," their commander said with a smirk. They expected no fight. They thought Earth was broken and silent. But silence ended that day. As the Rin fleet approached Luna, the stars behind them began to shimmer. At first, they thought it was light distortion. Then the stars vanished, blocked by something huge. One after another, dark shapes appeared, rising from the void like ghosts. A voice echoed through every communication channel. "This is Admiral Reyes of the Terran fleet. You have crossed into human space. Leave or be erased," the Rin commander laughed. "You dare threaten us?" Then space itself exploded with light. Dozens, no hundreds of human ships emerged, black as night and glowing with blue energy. Their engines roared like thunder. Missiles streaked through the dark. In minutes, the Rin fleet was shattered. Their last transmissions were screams and static. For the first time in history, the galaxy saw the true strength of humanity. In the council hall, silence spread as the battle reports came in. The same aliens who had laughed at Earth now stared in fear. Humanity's real fleet was no myth. It was a storm they had awakened themselves. Somewhere in deep space, Admiral Reyes gave the final order. "Send the message. Let the galaxy know. Humanity is awake." The battle at Luna changed everything. For the first time, the galaxy watched in silence as the Rin Empire's mighty fleet burned in space. The same council that once mocked humanity now sat speechless. Every channel, every news screen, every corner of the galaxy replayed one image again and again. Hundreds of Terran ships rising behind Earth, engines glowing like suns. Within days, humanity was no longer the forgotten race. Their fleet moved through the stars, not to conquer but to reclaim. The Terran Armada entered lost colonies, freed enslaved humans, and destroyed pirate bases that had hunted refugees for years. Wherever they went, they left one message behind. The Terran fleet protects its own. Alien worlds began to whisper. Some called them heroes. Others called them monsters. But all agreed on one thing. Humanity had returned, stronger than anyone imagined. In the Galactic Council, panic spread. The same leaders who had laughed now argued in fear. "They will attack us next," one shouted. Another whispered, "We should make peace before it's too late." Captain Thrix watched the chaos with quiet eyes. He had warned them, and now they were terrified. Meanwhile, on the Terran flagship Eclipse, Admiral Reyes stood on the command deck. The view before him was endless. Stars, fleets, and the growing symbol of human unity. He looked calm, but his voice carried power. "We don't seek war," he said softly. "But if they bring it to us again, we will end it." Across the galaxy, humanity's ships formed into a massive network, a wall of light stretching from one system to another. The hunters had become the protectors. The weak had become the warning. The galaxy had changed forever. Where there was once laughter, now there was silence. Every race watched the stars carefully, afraid of the shadows that moved among them, the shadows of the Terran fleet. Humanity had done what no one believed possible. They had turned mockery into legend. In the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council, the same place where humans were once humiliated, a message flickered to life. A hologram appeared, Admiral Reyes standing tall in his dark uniform, stars reflecting in his eyes. The room went still. No one dared to speak. "We remember," he began, his voice calm but heavy. "You mocked us. You called us weak. You took our colonies and laughed at our pain. But we learned, we waited, and we built." He stepped closer to the hologram projector. The air around him glowed with the light of distant ships. Hundreds of them lined up behind him like a wall of fire. "We didn't come to destroy," Reyes continued. "We came to remind you that humanity does not bow. We stand, we fight. And when the galaxy forgets who we are, we remind them." No one in the hall spoke. The same council members who had laughed years ago now looked down in shame. Outside the station, the Terran fleet drifted in formation. Massive, silent, endless. Their hulls reflected the light of distant suns like 1,000 stars reborn. Admiral Reyes looked out from his command deck one last time and whispered, "Let them laugh no more." The message ended. The hologram faded, and for the first time in galactic history, the universe stayed quiet, not in fear but in respect.